In South Africa, President Cyril Ramaphosa has hit out at the Democratic Alliance, DA, for calling on the United States to intervene in South Africa's upcoming general polls. Now, the official opposition wrote to the U.S. government pleading for additional resources to help bolster the deployment of election observers when South Africa goes to the polls in May. The DA's letter addressed to the U.S. Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, this past week has since sparked outrage from political parties. Now, Zama Ntshona, spokesperson for Africa Transformation Movement, joins me on the program. Thank you for your time, Zama.
Thank you so much. Good evening to you and the viewers.
All right, now let's start off with what you think about the letter the DA wrote to the United States as regards the upcoming elections.
Thank you so much. Let me start by saying that there is always reason to want to secure free and fair elections. The history of this country is a history that is marked with occurrences that are very strange during elections. If I might take you to the most recent national and provincial government elections, you would recall that mechanisms that are put in place to bar people from voting and again were a problem. The ink was disappearing. The zip scanners were not connected to a central system, which allowed, when you come in to vote for the second time, that the system should read and actually reflect that you had actually voted. And also the system at that time allowed that the ballot paper, not the ballot paper, but the list of names of individuals, the registered candidates, the list of those individuals was a list that was available in all VDs, regardless of where you have registered and where you are voting. As a result, it was easy for an individual to vote anywhere in the world. It was easy for those individuals to vote anywhere in the province during that time. And there were worrying factors and reports that people were voting again and again because those systems were not okay. And also, one other thing that we would like to raise was the issue of when the IEC gets to a point where the numbers are being tallied. It was also a problem that you begin to see inconsistencies that were there. And those are a reason for concern. But as much as that is the case, we do not see as the African Transformation Movement why call the United States to bring an army of observers to the country, because we believe right now that we have this under control. The African Transformation Movement wrote to the IEC, and we have had numerous meetings with the IEC in trying to promote free and fair elections. And one of the things that we have agreed on is there won't be a voter's roll that is available everywhere with the same names. The voters' roll will be restricted to the voters' roll of the VD. And from that VD to the next, those names, even in the same ward, are not going to appear as a measure and control to try and regulate how elections are run so that we deal with the issue of multiple voting. So the African Transformation Movement, its delegation and legal, approached the IEC to actually deal with that. Second thing that we would say it is a victory of the ATM is that we also got to a point where now the IEC has connected the scanners to a central system which is able to flag when you come in the second time that you have already voted. So that means that there will be a limitation. The third thing, which is also a victory that we claim as the ATM, is that you are only limited to vote to that VD you were registered in. Now, this then poses a question. With so many issues in place that or mechanisms in place to speak against this, why is it that the DA chose to go to the United States of America in particular? Recently, we held a BRICS summit in this country, where BRICS countries actually pledged to assist South Africa and other countries that are affiliated to it? Why is it that they went to America in particular? Why didn't they go to one of the BRICS countries? Now, you would know that the DA also, its positioning on the matter of the Middle East and also reports that are showing on issues of funding leans towards the left to an extent that there
So are you
even talks
suggesting
currently
that aside these elections, the DA might have some sort of ulterior or alternative agenda? Because, the ANC, is of the opinion that it thinks that this particular move is quite disingenuous. And of course, there seems to be another agenda on the part of the DA. Do you also share that line of thought?
Let's dispel the notion that it's disingenuous. The ANC is a party that has proven itself to be crooks. Let's just put it out there. So any attempts, they may be overboard, but any attempts to protect the elections are not wrong. But we believe that the DA has gone overboard.
Sorry, I'm sorry to take you back. You said the ANC is a party that's proven itself to be crooks. That's skin deep. Why do you say that?
Recently, Fikile Mbalula, the Secretary General of the ANC, went on media platforms, and in those media platforms said, as the ANC, we protect crooks who are presidents. In full view of the but we issue instructions to actually protect those people. It is no secret that the recent state capture report implicates members of the ANC. So the ANC has proven time in and again that it is a party of crooks. Go further. Our first by-election as the African Transformation Movement that we went to, there were people there who had passed on, but whose IDs were in position of the people who belong to the ANC. And they were using them to vote for individuals who were no longer with us. So we can't dispel that truth. The ANC is a party of crooks, is a party that harbors criminals. It is a party that has proven time in and again to be captured and advancing the needs of others who are not the majority of this country and the people who have sent them. So for us as the African Transformation Movement, when it comes to issues of being skeptical of what they do, we see where the DA is coming from, but we say the DA went overboard. And this is why we're trying to find out what is there, what is it that it is actually driving them to actually go to the United States of America in particular. So right here is the ATM. We want to really find what is it that is actually influencing the DA to go there, because we believe that the work that we have done as the ATM to save the elections of this country is sufficient enough to deal with this. Obviously, so we are not saying it is watertight.
Is the ATM, for instance, confident that with the amount of work that your group has put into ensuring that this election is free and fair, are you confident of the eventual outcome?
We have but one issue that we are still worried about. Now, this issue has everything to do with the capturing of the numbers, because we are going to be in each VD. So that process we are going to monitor. And also we have what I've said is voting in the VD that an individual is registered in to limit those and the others. But there is still the capturing of numbers. People can send in 500 numbers. There's a phenomenon that we have seen. Instead of capturing 500, they capture 50. Instead of capturing 5,000, they capture 500. Instead of capturing 50,000, they capture 5,000 by just dropping the zero. We are still not convinced there that when it comes to matters of capturing, we will be safe. As a result, we will be deploying to the highest order when it comes to that issue of capturing. But as far as before that particular undertaking, as the ATM, we are confident that we have closed the other avenues, but it is not beyond the ANC to want to disrupt the elections. Remember, that even members of the IEC are appointed by the presidents, and all the presidents are presidents of the ANC. Remember, the presiding officers are presiding officers of SADTU. SADTU is an affiliate of COSATU. COSATU is part of the tripartite alliance. Right now, SADTU is campaigning, trying to get people to vote for the ANC, and they are usually the ones who are going to be presiding over elections. So for us as the African Transformation Movement, we can't say that it is watertight because there are still these avenues, but still with those that we are skeptical of, we do not believe as the ATM that there is a need for us to call agents of, or the agents, or no, not rather the agents, but the Western forces to come in the country. As we know, we want to maintain the sovereignty of the South African state, and we believe that by bringing in masses of people from the states to actually do the work here, we do not believe that thoroughly we would be maintaining the sovereignty of our country.
All right, Zama, thank you so much for your time on the program. All right, now Zama is the spokesperson for Africa Transformation Movement. And on that note, we drop the curtains on today's episode of the show. My name is Dak Baliboy. It's important we also state that the opinions of our guest remains theirs and not that of News Central. Bye for now.